Hey, this is Daniel from Dark Horse Music Group with the One and Lonelies. We have Matt, Chelsea, and Cotton here, and thanks to them, they are recording here at Dark Horse Institute for a 6-song EP. So, yeah. So, the big question is, how y'all meet and what's with the name One and Lonelies?
Well, me and Chelsea have known each other for many, many years since we were like teenagers. And funny story, we actually met at like a punk rock music venue out front here in Nashville that's closed now. It's a place that used to be called The Muse. And we met and actually got her phone number because she wanted me to give her piano lessons. Mm-hmm. So for like over 10 years of us still being friends, like she's still saved in my phone as Chelsea Piano.
Chelsea Piano.
And I also still have never given her one piano lesson.
I still don't know how to play piano.
But me and Cotton, also we have another band called Young Heads that has been around like a little longer than One and Lonelies. And when Chelsea came over and wanted to start writing songs with me, she would show up and we'd be practicing Young Heads, and then eventually we all just ended up backing her and like making a new band. Oh, and about the name, yeah. So it's obviously it's a play on like the term like the one and onlys, you know, but also at the time we were writing these songs, like Chelsea is like the only like adult in our band. Chelsea is the one and we're the lonelies, basically. Like Chelsea's like the only one that's like married and put together and stable. And when we started this band, me and Cotton both had just broke up with both girls named Emily. So we were writing really sad, lonely songs. So that's kind of how it came about.
Okay. Yeah. And I've been in the studio, but for anybody that's going to be watching this, what type of music do y'all play?
Oh, that's the $1 million question. I hate the term Americana or folk rock, but it's like one of the most broad terms. We're blues-based.
It's definitely heavier blues influences.
Yeah, blues-based, country influence, but it's still just a rock and roll band. It's very throwback retro, like throwback to people like Nancy Sinatra and stuff, but we keep everything dark and moody.
Yeah, we try to do moody, dark. We try to...
Our play has been like, if Nancy Sinatra sang songs Junior Kimbrough wrote and then David Lynch produced it, that's what we're going for.
Or in like the background of a Tarantino film. Yeah. That's what we're going for.
Nice, very nice. Okay, so off that, what are the influences that you guys grew up on or for the band?
Well, definitely for this band, you know, people like Nancy Sinatra, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, like classic people like that. But then also, honestly, like, you know, a lot of blues people, Junior Kimbrough,
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, Robert Johnson, Lightning Hopkins, things like that. And then, like, other, like, more like almost like classic rock or garage rock influences even too, like with some of the arrangements, people like the Kinks, the Sonics, but then also like very much influenced by like people like David Lynch and his like art that's not exactly music, like TV shows like Twin Peaks, and like the whole score and background music to that is like something that's definitely pushed us to make things a little darker, a little stranger, you know.
Okay. Yeah, and saying over the last few days I've been scrolling through your social media and all that, and of course there's the song Heard the Devil that you are tracking currently. So what's the meaning behind the song?
That song actually started with a different title and
That was one of the first
went
that we
through like a few changes.
Went through a few different storylines.
One of the things about it, like how we say we're like very much blues based, like lyrically that song is like very much like a classic blues song, you know, someone who lives a hard life and like feels like they're led astray by the devil and like, you know, wants to be better but just can't help it because they're naturally just a piece of shit, you know, like it's kind of what it's about. But also the other thing that we've really, and me especially personally, have enjoyed like songwriting for this project as a male, like you often don't get to write songs for a female to sing. And that's also been one of the big things One and Lonelies has been very about with Chelsea fronting is super feminist songs. We have, you know, another song we're not recording now called I'd Rather Die Standing that's directly about domestic abuse and domestic assault. And we do try to address issues like that. And like even Heard the Devil in that sense, is like a feminist ballad of a woman who's led a hard life and at her wit's end, you know, trying to
has
make
a dark ending to it. But yeah, Hurt the Devil was definitely about getting shown different paths of redemption and then still choosing to go the wrong path.
Okay. Yeah. And what are the big aspirations for the band? I mean, y'all have a great sound.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
well, all the boys, we've all played in different bands before and still currently play with other people too. The goal of One and Lonelies, like initially, like we started this as fun, like we just wanted to write. And then the more people that started hearing our songs and we started playing shows, we opened for Nikki Lane at Mercy Lounge to a ton of people, and everybody's just like, what's next for y'all? What's next for y'all? And honestly, right now, like, that's where we're at. We just want to like keep pushing, like knock it up to the next level, knock it up to the next level.
I think I was initially surprised, I guess, at how good of a response we got to everything, all the music so quickly. So it's still a lot of fun, and it's still gonna be just like one thing at a time.
But also goal-wise, like not just like, not like we want to play this or do that, but like goal-wise, it's like we want to continue to make timeless sounding music that you can pick up our record and wonder if it came out yesterday or in 1968. You know, that's like a huge thing of ours. Like music that when we're 40, we won't be embarrassed that we recorded that, you know.
And also just having like a record that comes out that somebody can, you know, listen to and say is one of their favorites, and then years down the line when they hear it again, it kind of brings them back to the place that they were at then.
And we also, we're like, me and Chelsea, we're like Nashville natives, and like one of our huge things is repping the South, like legitimately, you know, like Southern culture. That's even like the blues thing, like Southern culture and everything. We just like ambassadors for that. Like it's not dead; it's still around.
Very cool. Okay, so to bring it back to the studio side of things, how's the recording process been going? I know we're in our last day here currently, but by the time this comes up, I mean, it should be, you know, middle of next week.
Honestly, it's one of the only times I've ever been satisfied with like the outcome of what I've done. Like fully, like just know.
It's been
like,
super easy. Everybody's been super kind, awesome to work with.
All of them are amazing.
We are gonna steal Brutus at the end of the day today. And those of you at home don't know, Brutus is an awesome puppy that hangs out in the studio. But yeah, we've enjoyed it. Like. Honestly, like today being the last day, we've got to the point where we're like, oh shit,
yeah,
this is the last day. Like, yeah.
And it's almost over.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts about working here with Dark Horse with, you know, the teachers who have been doing it for, in some cases, 30 plus years, and then having, you know, students who may have never touched gear until they came here? What's that been like?
It's been really awesome to see the process, and each, you know, of the students have their own different style and different sound, and it's been really interesting. They're all super talented.
It's really interesting coming into a recording process like this where you have a different song for each person. Like, normally, like, we've all recorded before with multiple, you know, engineers at multiple studios, but I've never, like, had, like, a different engineer, a different producer for each song.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really strange way of working.
It's fun,
but it's also
though.
been really endearing getting to know the students.
Okay, and for the last question, that way, when's the next show going to be? Because I know with the sound of this music, it's definitely a good time to get right on it with, you know, touring season coming up.
We're planning for to hopefully start back up at the end of May. I've got to take, I'll be in Europe for about a month, and then pretty much as soon as we get back, we're going to get right back into it.
Okay.
And before that, like I was saying, we're actually going back into the studio in a couple weeks, but we're going. We'll be at Blackbird Studio recording.
We're recording some different songs.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, that was the One and Lonelies that way, and just for everybody else that way. With this year alone, we'll be bringing in over 30 bands this year at a cost of $15,000 each, and they get to come in and record a 6-song EP for free through Dark Horse Music Group. Go on the website, darkhorsemusicgroup.com, and for everybody else, One and Lonelies have a Facebook page, Bandcamp, and
Instagram.
Yeah, so go check them out, give them a like.